I have a home server. However, there's just one main problem with it.
It is this one right here, and it's almost 15 years old. Check out how loud it is.
It is a Dell PowerEdge 2950 manufactured in 2009 that I used to tinker around with. If you know a thing or two about the PowerEdge lineup, you may be aware that this particular model is very power hungry, inefficient, and basically just obsolete. I'm well aware of this, so there's no need to let me know about newer models or better ones available on the used market. As much as I'd like an R710 that would be cheaper to operate in the long run, I don't have several $100s to spare. It would also be several years before this new machine would, quote, pay for itself in electricity savings.
So for the foreseeable future, I'm still going to be rocking this old tank, even if it means spending a little money to upgrade it.
One area that I'd like to improve this server is the RAID card. My particular machine came with a PERC 6i, which doesn't even support physical or virtual disks larger than 2 terabytes. As I'm planning to put some 900 gig drives into this machine, I would very much like to get rid of this limitation. I intend to upgrade the PERC 6i to this PERC H700, which costs less than $20. This upgrade isn't actually officially supported by Dell, but others have done this quite successfully, even as recently as 5 years ago. And no, Chun, or whoever asks, I am not going to let this server die just yet. In addition to the RAID card, I also had to buy a pair of cables that actually ended up being more expensive than the card itself because of shipping. So first things first, I need to pull this out and unplug all the cables. So first, taking this thing out, and here it is. Let's unplug the cables down here. I guess you can't really see it, maybe if I do this. Take out the power cables. Now I can take off the cover, and here it is. So this is the old PERC 6i right here, and this battery is also compatible with the new H700, so I'll be keeping that. So I'll just need to disconnect this one, this battery connector, these two SAS cables. So I'm going to take out this cable, and also this one because I'm going to have to take this out anyway. Oh, probably a bit forceful there. Oh well. Now I can take this one out. There goes the battery. Now have to take out this card. There we go. I don't think I'm going to try and screw the new, I guess the back plate here onto the new card. Because it is, if you look at it, it's a different shape, so I don't think it should matter too much. Although, it seems like the screw holes are in the right place, so I probably could. Actually, just to be safe, I think I'm going to do that. So I just gotta get a screwdriver now. And I'm back with the screwdriver, so let's see. I guess my main motivation for keeping the back plate is that it might insulate the components on the back, so if I just put it on the metal, it might short something. So probably a good idea to put it on. So let's see, these screw holes do line up quite nicely. But the heatsink here gets in the way, so I don't know if I should do this. I am tempted to just try and put this in, but considering that there is that sort of insulating layer, might not be very wise. I guess something like a sheet of paper would do that good enough, or just some tape even. Back with the electrical tape, and I don't know, I never read anyone having to do this, but I guess it'd be a good idea to err on the side of caution, so I'll tape it up. Right here, I am taping up the bare metal and checking if it's wide enough for the card. Then I spent quite a while trying to route the excessively long cables from the backplane connectors to the RAID card. I ended up placing both cables in the little space in front of the fans, and that seemed to work just fine. Next, I had to check if the H700 was being detected and if it recognized the old physical disks. While I was able to go into the RAID configuration of the newly detected card, it was not recognizing any of the previous disks. As it turned out,
I had actually connected the backplane connectors wrong to the RAID card. I opened up the chassis once again and swapped the two cables on the RAID card.
Yeah, there's foreign. Right there, foreign view. Okay, so press F2 here, I believe. Foreign config, import. This, please attach all physical disks. This is an irreversible process. That should be fine. I have both disks inserted. Proceed. And seems like it's working. Yeah, that's it. Virtual disk 1, 837.75 gigabytes, which is exactly what I had earlier. Both my disks are online, which is good. Awesome.
After installing the card and the new cables, I was able to successfully import my old array into the new RAID configuration. So I should be able to just add more drives into my array, right? Well, actually, it's not quite that simple. Due to how old this server is, it only supports BIOS boots, and therefore the boot disk must be partitioned using MBR, which itself has a size limit. But no problem, I'll just configure two virtual disks. The boot disk will use RAID 1 and is partitioned using MBR, while the data disk will use RAID 6 along with the newer GPT partitioning scheme. No, not that kind of GPT.
I don't actually have all the hard drives just yet, which is why I only have 2 boot drives in it at the moment. The rest here is all empty.
You may have observed that even with 900GB drives installed in all 8 of these bays, I'll only have less than a terabyte for the boot drive and 3.6 terabytes for the data disk. I would have liked to have higher capacity drives, but I didn't want to spend too much on these hard drives. It also doesn't really matter since the only backup drive I've got has a capacity of 4 terabytes, so I wouldn't really be comfortable going over that limit anyway. I'm not really much of a data hoarder, and on my PC I only have a single 128GB SSD for a Linux install and a virtual machine. All my data on my other various drives only totals to about 600GB, so I think this 3.6 terabytes of storage will serve me well into the future.
So that's all for me on this video. I hope you haven't found this useful because please do not get a PowerEdge 2950 in 2023. These things are just way too loud to be used as a home server. Hopefully in the next video though, I will be trying to quiet these down by adding some 47 ohm resistors to each of these fans, so hopefully it'll be a little bit quieter by then.